is on the wane, and naked impunity is on the rise. And this cycle of impunity breeds into the attacks of scandalous frequency on journalists, over which Fudge is gravely concerned. Our concern is predicated on the principle that a threat to press freedom anywhere is a threat to press freedom everywhere. All journalists everywhere must therefore rise up and fight hard against the inclement conditions which inhibit their work and imperil their lives. Journalists alone cannot and should not wage the fight against the calcifying cancer of impunity on the continent.
One of the biggest threats to journalism is the infiltration into the industry of persons who use journalism as a cover to practice all sorts of unethical, unacceptable acts that are known to our industry. It must be of interest to us and our leaders in the industry to constantly set the standard on what is ethical and acceptable, and be quick to uphold same while calling out boldly, without fear or favor, that which is not journalism but masquerades as such. If not done by we the journalists ourselves and our unions, it sets the stage for others to take us on and by effect undermine what is true journalism.
It cannot be right, no matter where in the world the journalists are physically attacked or prevented from doing their work. Once that happens, it is an attack on media freedom, and it must be roundly condemned by all. As George Orwell rightly puts it, and I quote, "Freedom of the press, if it means anything at all, means the freedom to criticize and oppose." However, there seems to be an emerging narrative which is being proffered by some in Ghana that critiquing the work of a journalist constitutes an attack on media freedom. That certainly cannot be described as an attack on media freedom. Having the freedom to criticize and oppose should also mean that the media is ready to accept and work with criticisms of its work by the citizenry or officialdom. That, for me, is one of the surest ways of improving the public discourse of our respective countries, and we should all strive towards realizing this. This conference should also seek to address the phenomena of misinformation campaigns and fake news, which sometimes, unfortunately, are propagated by some in the media. The tendency to report on only one side of a story and pass judgment on it, without wanting to learn or give a fair amount of reportage to the other side, stifles the truth. The media should only be concerned about reporting the facts and should not lend themselves to being bought or being used to destroy the reputation of others. The media has immeasurable power to build up the confidence and values of our societies and their institutions, and therefore ought to be assisted in discharging their duties at all times. I appeal to media practitioners on the continent to take a second look at the immense power they wield and the responsibility they owe their societies and their peoples, and ensure that they do not sacrifice integrity and the future of our societies on the altar of an instant scoop or ill-considered publication.